Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Leticia, and today I bring to you something very different. I just want to give you guys every Sunday something that I learned at church, and or the message that was taught and what I took out of it. So without further ado, let me tell you basically what the pastor was talking about. First, he definitely made me cry in the beginning of the service, because we already know what's happening with Ukraine and Russia, and it's very, it's heartbreaking to see, and to know about innocent people being killed, or innocent, kids, and having to flee their homes. And it's very sad because, the pastor mentioned that we wake up every day without a care in the world. Most of us do. We're not worried about, my house is going to be bombarded, or my house is going to be blown up, or I can't go outside, or anything like that. We wake up every day with not that worry, basically not worried about that. We have other types of worries, but not that. And Ukraine woke up, and now they have to worry about this. Now families have to worry about this. So as he was praying, it made me cry, because we don't know exactly what's going on with each family, but if we think about it, I think many families are hurt, are crying, are not at peace. Kids are feeling this way right now, and we really don't know, because we only see what the media shows us. But from what we've seen in the media, it's pretty bad. So I definitely cried this morning, doing a prayer, because he prayed for Ukraine, but guess what, he also prayed for Russia. I'm pretty sure that if they had a chance, or if they had a choice, and they were asked, where do you want to be? Do you want to go fight a war today, or do you want to stay home? I'm pretty sure most, if not all, would say, I want to be home with my family, wherever it is that they are. So most of them, that's what they would answer. So it made me cry, definitely. But anyway, so the message that Pastor Kevin brought today, it speaks a lot about families. And sometimes we don't understand why we were born within the family that we were born. Sometimes we don't understand why we have the siblings that we have, why we have the parents that we have. And we think that we were born in the wrong family. So the story about Joseph, I don't know if you guys know the story about Joseph, but Joseph had 11 brothers, okay? And he was one of the youngest. So he was not the youngest, but the second. He was the 11th brother, okay? So the 11th brother? Yes, he was the 11th brother, because his brother was the 12th, the other one. I forget his name. I'm sorry. I told you I'm not a pastor, but I'm just telling you what I learned. So here we go. So Joseph was sold, okay? He was sold by his brothers. They were jealous of him, okay? And he was sold into Egypt. So he was sold as a slave, and he served in Egypt. Many might say, hey, my situation is bad with my siblings, with my family, with my parents. I don't talk to my parents, or I don't talk to my siblings, or that. But Joseph, he was sold by his brothers into slavery. So, I mean, it was a pretty big hate. And he was sold into slavery. But here is what we don't realize. Many times we go into a bad situation, and we go through very, very difficult situations. But God has an intention, or has a plan, or has something that's going to come out of it. I know many times we might say, well, what happens, why did this happen to so-and-so? Why did that happen to so-and-so? Many times in the Bible, it says that we have family members that a generation or two or 4 generations ago did things that are affecting us today. In the Bible, it says that sometimes we pay for the sins of the generations before us, 4 generations, even. And I honestly believe that, yes, it says that in the Bible, but I also believe that you today can pray about that, and you can say, Lord, you know what? I pray for those sins that were done 4 generations ago, 3 generations ago, and I want to pray for those people, pray for those sins, ask that you forgive those sins, and ask that those sins don't touch me or the generations to come, that don't touch me or my son or my grandkids. So Joseph was sold into slavery, but his God-given gift stayed with him no matter where he went. So even though he was a slave in Egypt, he was still using that gift of knowing how to read dreams. Many of us have been deeply impacted by the decisions of our family, but God meant Joseph's situation to save his family when famine hit them. So there was a big famine in the whole region, and there was basically, very little food. So they had to travel to Egypt, and guess who was second in command? Joseph. So basically his brothers went to Egypt to buy food, and little did they know that his brother Joseph was second in command, okay, in all of Egypt. And Joseph, what he did when he realized that those were his brothers, he forgave them, and he hugged them, and he cried, and he told them, listen, I will take care of you. So God put him in that position where Joseph was a slave, but because of that, he was able to become second in command. So first was Pharaoh, then Joseph, second in command. And because of that, he was able to help his brothers and his family to come into Egypt, and he was able to take care of them and to provide for them. So Joseph may have not understood why these things were happening to him, but in the end, God showed him that he had a purpose. We also need to understand that sometimes we need to understand God's process and God's purpose through prayer, through fasting, and if that's what you need to do to understand your situation, then do it. Many times we just complain. I know I'm a complainer sometimes. I'm like, well, Lord, why does this happen to me? Well, Lord, why am I still not married? Well, Lord, and I don't know why. But in the end, I will understand. And someday I will understand why certain things happen and why certain things don't happen. And if I never understand, that's okay. Because his mercy and his love and his sacrifice in the cross is enough.